So, my name is Tobbe Larsson. I'm Swedish, not Finnish. I'm working on the Finnish, but it's not going so good. So I live in Sweden, in the south of Sweden, just by the border to Denmark, actually. So I bought this place, my farm, for 20 years ago. So I've been here for 20 years. And this is where I have my hub in Sweden. So I have my horses, we have a restaurant on my farm, we have the arena. So I stay here pretty much the whole summer period. And then mostly of the winter period, since 13 years back, I'm in Dubai and UAE. So I'm traveling between pretty much. I ended up in Dubai. I was doing a performance in UK, in Wembley Arena, and got the opportunity to meet the Queen from England. And together with her was one of the Royal Highnesses from UAE. So that's how it started. So I used to say, like, I'm almost feeling more home in UAE than I do in Sweden somehow. I love the country. I have my own place down in Dubai, so try to stay there between 6.5 months per year, something like that. So, but it's so convenient here because we have, from my farm in Sweden, we have 40 minutes to Copenhagen airport. So it's easy out for Dubai or Finland or someone else. So always when I go to Dubai, I never bring my horses with me, like constant. They just fly down for the shows. Because, I mean, the environment for the horses in Dubai is amazing with the stables and training facilities. But often I have so much work in Europe also with the horses, so it's easier to fly them down and then fly them back to Europe. So mostly the work I do in Dubai is like, with my own horses, is shows, like the big shows. Like the last thing I did was President Cup and Longines in show jumping. And otherwise I'm training with the national team in show jumping and helping them out. And they maybe help me out also, but I don't do the jumps. But and then I have some clients down there, but mostly it's my big client is why I'm there. So yeah, I'm training him and training the horses, and then also I've done pretty much TV down there. I actually done TV for SVT in Sweden. I also done a couple of episodes for English TV in Dubai. So I'm trying to like combine a little bit like home here, doing a little bit of all different parts. That's the best, because you meet different people and you get good inspiration, and so I like to do that. So when I bought the place here, it was in really bad shape. So the farm, my house, and two of the main buildings are built 1863. But it was really bad shape, so we have done lots of renovation. It's like never-ending story. And I built the indoor arena, I changed the stabling, we built the restaurant, but we still try to keep the old feeling and the old, I want to have a nice atmosphere. No, but I think most of the people who comes here or see the farm knows it from Pontiac-Kulten. I mean, I think I have done 130 episodes of Pontiac-Kulten recorded here. So I mean, I see also when we have guests here for the shows that they come and see, oh, this was where they were doing the show jumping, this is where the girl fall off, or, you know, they know the scenery here. And I used to say I live in Pontiac-Kulten, so I live in some kind of movie. I think with Pontiac-Kulten that it will, I don't know if it will happen again, I don't know. But I have had some other proposals for sure from other formats for the TV. But it's also when you do TV, it looks so nice when you see it on TV, but it's lots of work. Yeah. So with Pontiac-Kulten, we did 16 episodes in 14 days, including 2 casting days. So when we do the shooting here, we shoot on 3 places at the same time, and I'm running in the middle of between. So it's really fun, and I love it, but it's also lots of work that you don't see when you see the glam show, when you sit on in the TV sofa. But it's, I love to do it. I mean, it's fun, and I love to work with kids. So that's why I also extended to the Tobbe camp, which is almost the same like the TV program, but we don't shoot it. We just do it live instead. So for the Tobbe camp, the people are applying, and you can apply if you have any problem or just want to develop with your horse or pony. And we divide it actually in 2 camps. So we have for youngsters and for adults. And we just put the fine line with 18 years old. And then we just mix stages, which is actually one of the good concepts too. That you don't have, you don't need to divide people in so many different groups. You don't need to divide either if you're like riding on a high top or just riding in the forest. I mean, they are here because they love horses and they want to develop. That's the whole point. But I think I can say that Pontiac is the only one that was succeeded, and that's why it's also sold to Finland, Norway, and Denmark. No, but today I have we call it open home training, and we came up with the concept for I think it's maybe 7 years ago. So it should be simple concept. So people come here to my farm, they buy the tickets, and then I talk for almost 45 minutes, and different horses in and out, showing how I'm training, and I think it's nice because I meet the live audience, and it's not so much people, 150, 200, so I can see the audience. It's not like a arena show. It's also more low-key and somehow, pretty relaxed, like summer nice feeling. And the audience that comes here is really the whole families, adults, children. It's always a nice atmosphere in somehow. So I really like it. It's good energy. For sure. Yeah, but for me, when I do the big arenas, I did last weekend I did Haastattelussa horse show. I did the grand opening. I did 100 years jubileum. But we can talk about Finland instead, because I've done Hartwall Arena, I don't know, maybe 10 shows there or something with Appassionata. And the difference between a big arena compared to when I do it home here is when I go for the big arenas, is so much people, crew around. And normally the horses go before me. I fly in with some people, just maybe the day before the show. Hotel, and then from the hotel you get picked up and you go backstage directly. So often I don't even see the arena in that sense. So you go backstage, you go directly in and you get fixed and traced, and you come out on the other end. And often after the shows you go directly. Often sometimes even you leave before the audience are leaving. So it's a completely another thing. Sometimes you have meet and greets also, but it's so much people, so you don't see. When I do the thing home here in the arena, there is more time for the signing. You can talk to people, take pictures, and there's more interaction with the audience, which I like. It's nice, and it's also live. I can do pretty much 4 questions that people used to ask if I let them ask. Number 1 is always, can I really do this with my own horse? That is always the big issue people asking. But it's also, I think I try to remind the audience that, the thing I do with my horses is for me nothing special. It's what everybody can do with a horse, actually. And my horses are, in my heart they are special for me, but they are like horses. So horses always speak horse language. Swedish people speak Swedish and Finnish people speak Finnish, so we have sometimes difficult to communicate. But horses are amazing. You can go here or to Finland or Dubai, and you will always understand the horse language. So that's why I'm also trying to show. If I do a show in a big arena, it's more like costume and music. Home here is much more simple, and I can more show them exactly what I'm doing. And also sometimes I take up some from the audience, so they can try and in front of the audience, and then people realize how horses works. You just need to know the key things for how to move and behave, and then the whole thing starts. They get this feeling of, I can also do this home, or I can try it, and I think it's also important educating wise that people feels it's nothing. You need to be able to try it. You know what I mean? Everybody have to try it. That's how I'm thinking. So often I used to say that if you have a horse home, if you have a renting horse or riding school horse, or have your own horse, the most important thing with the horse is to get to learn the horse. How is it behaving? Is it afraid for something? And you can do it pretty simple by going into the paddock and watch them with other horses, interaction, and you will pretty soon get to know the horse. And also I try to do in a way of just making it a little bit more funny for your own brain. I try to do each horse as a personality. So I'm trying to think okay, so this horse is a little bit spooky, it's difficult to teach some stuff, and so on that horse I may be thinking he's a wild bastard, he maybe have all the booklets in his head, so he's difficult to focus or something. You can also have some horse I have Devin, my Devin, he's really a worker. Typical, he will have his own company, and he's really hard-working guy. He likes to do everything correct, and So if you do the personality character on your horse, it's also much easier when you train, because then when it's not working, you can think of that, and then you will actually smile again and get some good energy instead of getting angry. And I think it's also difficult because, like, I mean, some people they treat the horse like it's a hamster, and some people treat the horse like it's like nothing. But most of the people who have, what should I say, a big heart for the horse, maybe also do it, overkill it sometimes. And I mean, they wrap them in 5 blankets and things on the leg. I mean, you can do everything if you needed to, but there must be like a thought behind it. Yeah. And I think for me, I try to have like my horses in a simple way, which means we have some of the horses going on big barns so they can walk in and out themselves. And my other horses, they are in the nights and out in the daytime, and in the summer out even in the night time. And I try to have them as much as possible together, because horses are made to be in herds, so they like to be together, except the stallions, because they never have problems. But my stallions, even there, we try to have them beside each other in the stable, and they walk beside each other in the paddocks, and it's so important to have the interaction for the horses. It's really important. And also I try to think like nowadays people talk so much about leg protections and what should you have on your horse, and for me, I do it the simple way. I only have leg protection on the horse when we go for the semen with the stallions, because then they will maybe jump up, and so they need something for the legs. But otherwise, I try to stay out of as much as possible. If I don't need it, if I need it, I have it. Sometimes when I ride, I have it, but it's not always. And I actually never have anything on my horses in the transport, because they need to learn to behave and stand still. Because the problem is if you wrap the legs with lots of stuff in the transport, the horse learn to kick. And then one time you forget the wrapping, and then you kick, and they will get hurt. So it's better to teach the horse to behave. Because it's also much more nicer life for the horse. And it's also the same, I'm trying to think like with the food and everything. I mean, I'm just to walk in a little bit on the Finnish side now. So I'm really proud. So I'm really proud and in Team Kraft for many years. So I have good cooperation with them to always check the food for the horses. What do they really need? If they need something, what do we need? So we know why we give it. We don't just give 15 different things. We have like a pretty good, we analyze the hay, and then we try to make it as simple as possible, because I don't want to make it into, craziness. And which also sometimes you see horse people, they buy this and that, and they mix themselves, and they read and they think you need to have experts who are helping you know what to do, nutritionists with horses. So with Kraft, I'm really happy. And then I have and they're also in Finland. Yeah, Kraft. And then I have my veterinarian, and she's great. She's from Finland, Laura. So I have some feeling of Finland sometimes. So you need to have like a good team around you that you can talk to, and also like brief me a little bit how to do, and this is good, this is bad, this is feeling good, there's not feeling good, and be able to have like communication. It's so important. Actually, I think the main problem in many cases that people maybe nowadays in this stressy world, you have your school or you have your work, you go to the stable, you're there 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, then you go again. So actually you spend pretty less, not so much time with your horse, which is most important. That's why I also say with the grooms is so important, because they're also so much around the horses. They know them in and out. That's why it's so important. No, so horse-wise, I've had, actually during all the years, I've had quarter horses, and I still have quarter horses. My Liberty horses are quarter horses. And it's so sad, because I had my big star, Nikke. He was 27 now, but I lost him last year, so it was terrible. I've had him, actually I had both his parents, so it was bred here. He was also with me in Finland, because he had opening number in Appassionata. So it was terrible, and that is, I think, the worst scenario when you have animals, when they, the day will come and you know it. And the only thing I'm grateful for in that situation was that I was home, which I'm so grateful for. But it's terrible. Yeah. It's terrible. But with him in mind, in a positive way, so I have Frisian horses, and then I have my quarter horses. I have one Spanish, and I have 2 Lusitanos. So my last one I bought was the Lusitano Stallion. So he's a big guy. He's 176, I think, 77. And so he's improved for the breeding with Lusitano, but I'm also really happy because we have him improved in 2 other breeding associations too, even Olden Boy. So you can breed Olden Boy with him and get get papers on it. And we have done a really funny thing on him. We have made sounds like Jurassic Park, and it's almost, but we have done a color test on him. So he will never leave a red chestnut. It will never be red chestnut. They will always be smoky black or dark color. Or if you breed with a brown one, it will always be Palomino, and there will always be one white mark. Yeah, it's strange. And you make this test in UK by hair from the horse. It's 99.999% that it should work. We breed with him, and I'm really happy and proud because he's in Lövstad's breeding program. So we go with him 3 times a week, and we do fresh semen. Definitely. But then it's like with horses. I mean, for sure you can, the color one thing, but then it's like the color, the food, the training, and the environment. Yeah. That's all the parts that will do the horse for you in the end. Definitely. Yeah. So him we have, then I have my old Frisian. I did Falsterbo with him now, he's 27. And I had one other Frisian before, but I sold him for a couple of years ago to a lady in Germany who had the biggest castle in Germany. So he had like a really nice life with his own room and living like, living a good life. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't like to sell horses. I don't like it. So I think it's also important to let the horses, don't forget them just because they only put them in the box. You need to take care of them and like I used to say, love and respect your horse, and that's what we try to follow here all the time. The horses are always in the center here. I bought actually the other Spanish horse a couple of years ago, and I should have been training him more, which I haven't done because it's always the problem for me is the time. Yeah. There is no time. That is the problem. And also when I lost the horse now, like I did with Nika, I'm trying to think like not replace. I'm trying to think like, okay, I need to do something new. But I try to use all my horses. I actually also have, which I forgot, I also have some dressage horses. I have also a really nice mare out of Vierailimme, same as Totilas, which we breed on also. She's away also now with baby. So I'm trying to have the same horses and not make, I don't want to be a horse dealer. I would never be a horse dealer. I would be the worst horse dealer because I would buy instead. And it's also the same with my Spanish horse. The other one, the white one. I was going to sell him a couple of years ago, and I put out an ad, which also the horse magazines in Sweden saw. So then it was like front page, I'm selling a horse, and then you have all these crazy people contacting you. So I just decided I don't sell, so I still have him. Yeah. Yeah, because then you have all this craziness starting. Yeah. So it's also difficult. Sometimes you just want to find like a good home. You know what I mean? With a good person, where it's not this thing around. So about the restaurant that we have here at our farm. So we opened the restaurant, I think it's now 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I think it is. So it's a friend of mine, Alex, and I knew his parents, but he was so young then, back in the days. And his mom was actually a vet. She came from Poland as a vet to Sweden in the 60s, I think, 60s, 70s. And Alex's father, he was from Italy. And they came to Ystad in Sweden, and he was not European Union. So she could not work as a vet. So they opened the first pizzeria in Ystad. That's how he started. So Alex, who runs the restaurant, he's like born in the kitchen, I used to say. In good and bad. And so he's really good with the restaurant and really good with the food. So we have like focus to have like a shorter menu, but a really special one. So he do sourdough pizzas with only fresh ingredients. And he makes everything here. All the sauces, everything is here. So we don't have any canes or something. It's really good food. And we have cool pizzas. We have like Skagen with hand-peeled shrimps, and we have deer meat on one pizza, and so we have some difference, and then really nice desserts. And so that's the main restaurant. And when we opened it, we had only outside, and we were thinking like, if it's 5 people in the weekend, where maybe one was driving wrong way, that's what we will have. But we ended up last year also open now inside where we're sitting now in this building, and this is also built 1863. This building. It's actually you used to have pigs in here. And chickens, all days. And last year we had over 20,000 visitors on the farm, which is absolutely crazy because we are in the middle of nowhere and we couldn't expect it at all. So The restaurant, I could say, is almost always full booked Tuesday to Sunday in the summer. And now, like today, I have show, so today it will definitely be full booked. I'm so happy for it because when I have my guests in the indoor arena, often they eat before or afterwards. You can take a glass of wine, the beer, have a nice food. And I feel it on the audience because they're much more happy. You get more, to come here you need to drive. So when you come here, you want to have something to drink, you want to eat, you want to have an experience, So I'm so happy for the restaurant. It's really, really nice. And also for the Tobbe camps. It's perfect. They eat here and it's nice.
Yeah.
So I think like last time I was in Finland, I was there with my horses, and then one time I was there doing like a lecture without the horses. And it was so funny because when we traveled to Finland, we were flying, me and an assistant to Finland, and we came to Finland like pretty low key because I didn't realize that Ponniakuta was so big in Finland till we stepped up at the airport, and then it was like in Sweden it was the same. You realized, wow, they really see Ponniakuta in Finland. I didn't realize it because we didn't know in Sweden that there was broadcasting in Finland. I didn't know it. So I didn't know that it was so really, really hyped here. So, but I hope that I can go back to Finland because I like Finland. I even know the good sushi restaurant in Helsinki. So, no, but I think it's also nice with Finland because it's so close to Sweden and still so far away. And it's also interesting with the whole horse culture in Finland because you have so much, how should I say? In Sweden you can see horses on each farm, and in Finland it's more like concentrated in some places. I don't know really, but I've had a great experience in Finland, and it was really, like I said, the last audience when I was there was really nice. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Maybe the Finnish people, they're not so loud as Swedish, but I got them started, so it was good. It was good. I had a nice time. I like Finland.